What is up, guys? We're in the shop tonight doing an install video for y'all. We got Brandon's Can-am Outlander 850. This is a new bike that we got. We just introduced it to the channel a video or two ago. And we're going to be doing a snorkel kit install tonight. And we got a Warrior Riser snorkel kit from snorkelyouratv.com, and we really love these Warrior Risers. Very popular kit. They look really good. Comes with good quality stuff, and this is everything that comes in the kit right here, everything that you need, and even your vent hose stuff, good instructions, and of course the famous Warrior Risers. And we're gonna get this knocked out and try to show y'all how to do it. I'm sure a lot of you have already installed this kit, and but we're gonna see if we can put together a good quality video for you. Also, you ordered something else, right?
Yeah, ordered the airbox gaskets. They come with like a foam, some kind of like foam junk that if you get underwater it's gonna suck up water.
Oh, that's factory, the factory seal on the airbox.
Yeah, it's made out of like this little foam stuff, and this just replaces it with a thick rubber one. It's from Warranty Killer Performance. It was like $9.
Oh yeah, awesome. So we'll
save you a motor or two.
Heck yeah, that's what we're all about. All right, guys. Well, we're going to install this, show you how to do it. Hopefully, we'll have some good light for you, so you'll know exactly how to do this yourself. Here we go. Yeah. Alright, first you just want to start disassembling stuff. We took off the seat. Set over there. As well as your front black plastic cover. Alright, what'd you just do just then?
Just unplug the display. You just squeeze it and it comes off really easy.
Well, that's a good plug there.
Everything you just pull it, it comes off. It ain't like
easy to remove.
Yeah.
Good deal. Got your gauge cluster removed. And as you can see, which this is so cool, I like that Can-am does this. But all your vent lines already ran up to here. Is there any that's not ran up front?
I
mean, that's pretty much everything. We'll do some more investigation, but
that's really.
Yeah, it's probably your front diff, rear diff, your bottom end, and I don't know, maybe your radiator, maybe the radiator fan overflow. Maybe we'll check all that and let you know. This intake here, which is ran to here, that's your air intake right here. So that's already ran. Man, from the factory, Can-am has it where you are. I mean, come on. I mean, that's awesome. That's all the way up to there. And he just pulled off the air filter cap.
Foam.
Yeah, that's the stock factory foam seal that you do not want to you do not want that to get wet. So
ain't even been in nothing bad and it's already let that much stuff.
Yeah. That ain't no good. So we're going to fix that. Hopefully we'll even clean the air filter and put on our Warranty Killer rubber seal kit that will seal that area off very well. And then we'll trust it more to actually get the handlebars underwater maybe. Anyhow, so from factory, your Can-am is, you know, your air intake's way up here. This is your intake for your belt, so it's all the way up here as well. Is that correct? Am I lying to everybody?
Yeah, that's the
pretty belt, sure that's right.
The belt breather.
Yeah, it's got a screen to protect your for any junk from.
The blowout is like somewhere right up in there.
The exhaust.
Yeah.
Yeah, your exhaust to your belt. We're about to take all this plastic off. We'll show you how to do that maybe.
You can feel the air off of it when you're riding.
Oh yeah. So from the factory, Can-am does a very good job of making it where you can pretty much send it through some deep water and some deep mud holes without even having a snorkel kit. I hate to hate on Polaris's design on the Sportsman, but we had the Sportsman 850s and the 1000s are just like it. The 570s and lower are a little different, but they just wasn't from the factory. They're wasn't out. We know that, you know, they're not designing these bikes to just go full send in the mud. That's why Can-Am has the XMR lineup and why the Polaris has the high lifter lineup. So we know, but we still think Polaris could have done a better job than putting the exhaust from your belt box was like way down here. So if you did any kind of water wheelie, it was right behind the exhaust and turned down in that area where you see that bracket right there. So if you did a water wheelie with your stock bike in about 2.5 foot of water, you're gonna fill your belt box up. So anyways, just be aware of that. We love the Sportsmans, don't get us wrong, but we do love how Can-Am has done their factory I guess air intake for your engine as well as your belt box. But anyhow, we're gonna shut up talking and get to work. All right, guys. Also, after you take off your seat and your front dash and all that stuff, you gotta take your rack off. Anyhow, you gotta come up under here under the frame and take that bolt out. That is a 8. Is that 8 or 10? That's a 10, ain't it? 10 millimeter. Yeah. Take that bolt out, and then we're going to use a T30, and we're going to take off that there, which mounts the upper part of your front bumper, and it also holds your rack in as well. Yeah. Okay. Here you go. There's going to be more. We'll show you in a second. Anyways, we're using a little flexible extension. Makes life very easy. Makes it where you won't scratch your plastic up. Anyhow. Alright guys, also, you know, so we took out that T30 Torx bit bolt. Also, was 12 right? Also, you gotta take out, see that stainless steel colored bolt there? Gotta take that out because that is holding the big main part of the front rack. So, what size was it?
13.
13 millimeter. I'm gonna get all up in the way. You good? Oh yeah. We have removal. We have to go do that on the other side. Oh yeah. So we'll remove that on the other side and remove the rack. Probably something else we're missing. I'll update you in a second. You got to, you saw we removed this bolt here, the main bolt. There is another little bolt, very little bolt, right in front right here, and that is a 8 millimeter size. And there's no way to get a socket on that, so you got to get just 8 millimeter wrench is the only way to take that off. All right, guys, you can see where Brandon was able to take the front rack off. This is where that little 8 millimeter bolt was coming up through. This is where your 10 millimeter bolt was coming up through. And
clean up under there too.
yeah, nice and pretty. But anyhow, there's also a Phillips head screw. That's a little bitty Phillips head screw on each side that you have to take off. And then there's a body clip here you have to take off. Body clip right there. And then a really hard to get to one. Well, it's not on this side. Body clip here. And this is the one that was kind of difficult to get to. Just it's crowded because your gas tank is in the way, but it's right back there. So anyhow, one of these tools will come in very handy wherever it went right here. get you one. You can get one off Amazon. Don't worry about spending a ton of money. Get you a cheap one. It don't tear them up. It don't tear up your body panel clips as easy as a flathead does. Then you just
Be careful
carefully.
when you pull it out the back, because it'll try to get you right there.
Okay. Right here, that part there.
Yeah, it tried to.
Will it slides in there. So be careful as you're pulling out your body panel. We're gonna come around the other side, do the same thing. You can see where some of your vent lines are coming up through right here. That's not just vent lines. Yeah, vent lines. That's right. Okay. Anyhow, we're going to do the same thing over here, and that's going to reveal. If you can go ahead and do that. I'm sure there's going to be wires.
Well, I think it just.
Oh, okay. It goes around it. Okay, good deal. That stays there. So anyhow, just kind of carefully, very carefully pull that so you don't scratch up this beautiful plastic. Anyways, you can be as careful as you want to be. Pull it up out of the way. And here's your heat shield here. I'm sure we're going to have to remove. This is where, so here's your exhaust on your belt. It comes up through here and then turns and dumps right up here. So this is the lowest point of your belt or your whole air intake system. So I mean, that's pretty high up in there, man. They did a good job. They did a really good job. Yep. Yeah, as long as you keep the throttle on and keep the air blowing out, you're good. But no, guys, take care of your stuff. Don't go sink it off in a big mud hole unless you know for sure you got snorkel good. But anyways, you got to take the bumper off all the way off so that you can take off this front hood panel without scratching the fire out of it. So anyhow, it's just 2 bolts down here because you've already taken out your upper one, and it is a 13mm nut under here on a fixed bolt. Alright, so you take them 2 nuts off the bottom, carefully lift up and pull out, and you see where these bolts just have that square on the bottom that hold it in place, lock it in. So anyhow, don't lose those. Safely set your bumper over to the side. Safely. Now we can remove the front panel. Booyah. Yep. On to the next one, old son. Alright guys, so once you get your fender wells out of the way, you want to cut this right here. Cut that zip tie. Because I may end up having to unplug that, I'm not sure yet. I'm going to take a, what is this, 10mm. Can you see that right there? This is your inlet to your belt box. I'm going to take that loose. Alright, and then on your top bolt, you're going to use a ratchet wrench. That's a 10mm as well. Then you want to take your factory boot loose. You can use a Phillips head or a flathead. And we're still the dummies trying to work around this big 29.5 Outlaw 2. So if you'll show them up top here, we're going to take this screen loose. So we won't ever use that again. Pop that off. and you just lower this through here like so. And there she is. Alright, got that removed. Alright guys, here's the scary part. So this is where you have to cut your air intake inlet, and you want to cut it on the rib or just behind the rib in the curve. This is right under where your front gauge cluster is at, in front of your handlebars. Take your razor blade, and this is where the owner cringes. You want to cut, try to cut nice and straight. But anyways, I'm just going to show you, and then we're going to set the camera down, and he's going to hold the light where I can really see what I'm doing. But you want to cut that completely off, and then you're going to use a T20 Torx bit to take that screw off, and we'll do that in a second. But you cut this, take your screw out, and remove that out of your way, and we'll show you in a little bit what we're going to do in this spot. Okay guys, it was at this moment we realized we had screwed up. No, I'm just kidding. This kit is pretty. This ain't no quick job.
It's like in the middle of the mall stuff, as Will would say.
Yeah. So what have we done? So far we cut our air intake where it was supposed to be cut. Okay. Now there's a couple more things you have to do now. One, so here's your fuse box, and you just pull these tabs here on each side. Just pull them out with a little screwdriver and have somebody pull this straight up. Now what you're going to do now is we're going to remove these little rubber shields basically. I think all you have to do, there's a zip tie here, and we'll be able to cut that and just pull these up out of the way, and then zip tie here. There's probably one more somewhere, but those are supposed to be removed, and get them out of your way. Now you're going to take a Dremel. We're not going to be able to capture this on video, but we'll show you what we did. But you have to, if you'll hold that out of the way, you have to Dremel tool, it says in the instructions, to cut this area out. Okay, let me get right here. Cut this area out. Now this is metal, this is part of your frame, so don't cut that. But this area right here, you'll see what I'm talking about when you're looking at your bike. But this is plastic. We're going to cut this out, okay, with a Dremel tool, and then you can kind of pry up here. You'll be able to pry up on the plastic right here and get your fuse box. You're going to push it through. Probably going to take both of us to not like damage any wires. Be real careful, because you don't want to cause yourself a bunch of electrical issues. Those are the worst. Anyhow, and we'll shove the box underneath here, and it's going to be secured to this location right here. The reason being is because you're about to use all this area here. All that is about to be full of hoses and PVC parts for your risers and all that good stuff. So that's what you're having to do. You're having to make room for all that stuff to fit through here. So look guys, this is it's pretty involved kit. I mean, you can do it. It just takes time. Don't think that you're going to do this in a couple hours. We thought. But anyways, sorry this video is so long, but we don't want to leave out any details. So you can skip forward to different parts that you really have questions about. We're going to try not to leave out any steps for you. But anyways, we're going to get the Dremel tool out. We're going to cut that area here, and then we'll show you what we did, and we will press on. We'll try to get as much done as we can tonight. Alright guys, right here you can see where we took the Dremel, and I gotta clean that up some more, but anyhow, we cut that plastic out. There was just a flat piece here, we removed those little rubber shields. We had to cut it. You have to cut it. Just take your Stanley knife and cut it, because you won't be going back with them. Now, you can pull this up, push your fuse box through that hole where it was mounted, and then lift this up and feed this through, like so. Now, here in a little bit, we're going to remount this, but now it's out of our way for now, okay? But we'll remount this in a little bit. But be careful when you're shoving all this through here, your fuse box, because you got some plugs back here, electrical plugs. You don't want to damage all that, okay? By the way, just a little bonus footage, something cool that Can-Am does, and I believe Polaris has started doing it as well. This is a key on accessory power. They just leave this here for you to access, and you just pull that off, and you can, most of the time what I do is I'll strip these wires back and wire them up to a switch, and then feed a LED bar. You can feed a speaker, LED pods, halos, all kinds of stuff. So just keep that in mind. That's always located somewhere where the rest of your main part of your wiring harness is. Anyhow, bonus footage. You're welcome. Alright, now guys, take your T30. You're moving over here to the left hand side of the bike. You're going to take these two bolts out. Don't want to lose those. So you have to cut the zip tie. Instructions say that take your bolts, put them right back in place. Drop that other one. Alright guys, after you fool that down there, now we're going to the instructions say these plastic mounting points here, there's two of them. You're going to detach all the plugs. All this does is hold your plugs up and secure. And the bad part about this, any snorkel kit really that uses your front pod area, which is pretty much all of them, you have to make room for your hoses and pipes. So we have to undo all the plugs. You don't have to actually unsnap them, but unsnap it out of the mounting places. Then we're going to cut these little plastic pieces off and out of the way. And then once you run your pipe, your snorkel kit, you'll have to kind of maneuver your wires and plugs around it all, and then we'll build a zip tie later and tidy it all up. But I just wanted to show you those mounting tabs before I got to unplugging it all. Anyhow, that's the next one. Next is another excruciating moment. Take your 2.5 inch hole saw, and you're going to come to the right hand side of the bike, and you're going to drill a hole somewhere about in the middle there. And this is to allow I think your CVT inlet hose to have room, the flex hose. You just gotta send it. So if you notice, to keep from completely destroying everything, you can, if you got a fresh hole saw, you can run it in reverse after you get your center drill bit threaded up. because if you go forward, it's going to catch and
Just kind of melt
destroy everything. Yeah, you pretty much just melt it, and that'll keep you from just completely losing control of it. So just take your time when you're doing these holes. Make sure you line it up good. We can clean this up with a Dremel tool. But anyways, next you're going to grab your pod, and you're going to do your drill through your nice pretty pod, and we'll show you how to do that now. All right, now you want to take your center pod, and we're going to cut our center hole first. You want to find your center here on this area here, and mark it. Then you want to be a 1/4 inch above this lip. I'm going to mark that now. Just put a little mark. Just get right there close to the ballpark. Okay. So what that mark will do is that's where the edge will go. This is going to be pretty difficult, but here goes nothing. So don't get in a hurry, guys. All right, here we go. There we go. Yep, you can verify that you're in the center. It all looks good. Here we go. Beautiful. Oh yeah. All right, guys, this don't make sense, but this is what the direction says, so we're gonna do it. You have to do this at 2 angles. One is flat with the surface that you marked. Then you're gonna come up just above that and cut straight down. So you're cutting basically another half circle here, and because your riser is going to come right up the middle here. Next step, this is another night. We gave up on the previous step and called it a night. So here we are after we done drilled our holes out and made a mess. Your next step is to start coming back with your new intake stuff for the snorkel kit. So we're a couple of steps ahead. You go back in with your factory plastic tube for your intake on your CVT. You can see that, so you can tighten that back on, and you're going to go on with your I think it was a 2 inch reduced to 1.5, or 2.5 reduced to 2. I can't remember, it's in the instructions, but anyways, that I think it's the only reducer in the kit, and so it goes right here. Okay, that's for your air intake of your CVT. All right, and then the very next step is to take the thin wall rubber boot coupler and go boil it in water. Now, we've done a kit like this similar on a Renegade, and we spent a long time trying to stretch it over it without just following directions and boiling it. So we highly recommend to go throw it in some hot water and stretch it over your exhaust. Right? Yeah, that's your exhaust of your CVT. Boil it, get it hot, stretch it over it. Then you got to kind of shape and form your clamps to go over the oval. Okay, so get that on, get that secure. All right, so we've done a couple steps without videoing, but I'm about to catch you up real quick. So you saw where we did the boot earlier. Now you come out with a 90 and fit your clamp around that. Okay. And then you want to silicone your hose to this 90, all right, and it's reduced down where the hose goes over. All right, and then the bigger part of the 90 goes into the thin wall boot. So use you some good silicone, man, pack it in there real good. Make sure you get into the flexible part of the hose, and then clamp her down real good. Now before you install it, go ahead and put your heat tape, your heat shield. Go ahead and wrap it. We actually had a little extra heat tape, so we heat taped it all the way up. But anyhow, so you just feed that through, okay? and we'll go from there in just a second. All right, so that's that. Now we missed a step. We missed a step earlier. When you take your stock plastic pipe, we saw a while ago. We went to go put it back in and saw that it was too high. Went back and looked through the instructions and realized that we were supposed to cut it. So that's the piece that Lauren has right now. So this is how much we cut off. All right. It had a mounting tab. This was your upper mounting tab here, and it went something, I don't know, something like that. I don't know. Anyhow, cut it just below that mounting tab, and that'll get you at the right height. And we kind of dremeled it down and flattened it and smoothed it to where your boot will fit around it very good and seal off. And then you put your 90 there. That's going to go feed up through there, and then it couples to your stock boot on your inlet. So that's for your air inlet on your CVT. And yeah,
I'm not sure how that needs to be orientated.
no, we'll orientate it later. But fight that in, shove it through. Some of that may be in your way.
Does this go all the way up through here?
Yeah.
Probably better put this on up there.
After, yeah. Yeah, we'll do that. Anyhow. Gonna fit that in, shove that through up here. Now, so you're only gonna have one mounting location now, the lower mount, as you can see right there. Oh, that ain't good.
That guy's never been on camera before.
Gotta bring it, send it, bring it. Let's get rid of it.
All right then.
The transmission's in the way. It's not going in there.
Yeah, it's going.
No.
See,
It's going tonight.
torque converter right there.
Oh, see that deal right there? Yeah, this is ProFlow. This ain't no Mickey Mouse crap. This is ProFlow Motorsports.
Wait, let me show him. What? What?
In the back.
Well, I haven't been there yet.
Work, hunt, play. ProFlow, Laurel, Mississippi.
Laurel.
Hey,
We're gonna go see them.
ain't they?
Polaris dealer.
Ain't they gonna be? I think they're gonna be.
They will be
Yeah.
at Burden's.
Whole lot of sick, nasty, everything.
On the
inside.
25th.
Buy me a shirt there. Get it all ready.
All right. So what Lauren and Will are working on here is the something. No, I'm just kidding. So that's what we just installed from here. That's your air intake for your belt box.
CVT.
CVT.
Inlet.
Remember that inlet.
Jagger we installed. I don't know if you videoed that,
If
did
we're
you?
Yeah, I
gonna
did
be
video.
professional, we gotta talk professional.
Yeah, I know it.
That pipe,
We're a long way from that.
where that air goes in that black thing.
10-4.
All right. So also, this is your air intake. This is your air intake for your motor. All right. And remember, we had to cut that rib. Well, now we inserted the what was that? All right. So we wasn't all this kind of fixed up already? That was already.
Yeah. You just
All right.
gotta make it come straight out.
All right. So this was already pre. Golly.
What?
All right, my bad. I just inhaled that.
Show them how you show mine. Putting that baby on there.
All right. Put you some good silicone in the ribs, and then leave you half of it sticking out. That's going to allow you to be able to clamp securely your flexible hose to the pipe. All right. Also, right here, this is your air intake for your. This is your main air intake for your engine, and this piece here was already pre-made by the Snorkel Your ATV guys, and all you do is fit that in. You can put some silicone on it, stick that in there, and then put your clamp down your hose, and just make sure that it's coming straight out that hole that we cut out earlier. And there we go. So we have our air intake for the CVT. We have our exhaust coming out. All right, we'll work on that in just a moment. But I just want to catch you up real quick. We almost, not really. I was going to say we're almost through, but we're really not. All right, guys, so it looks like we skipped a lot, but really we didn't. You saw where we just had the everything lined out, and you dry fit it, and then you take that back off and put your front hood on, your bumper, your front rack, and then you go back in with your gauge cluster, route all your vent lines up, put the couplers on, and get everything lined up, ready to go. Snap your gauge cluster in place. Remember to plug it up, because that'll be very frustrating if you don't. And now we're going to get ready to make sure it's routed like we want. Everything's lining up good. And we'll get ready to glue our risers on. And after we dry fit and make sure it all looks good, we'll yeah, they'll snap together.
You have to take them off.
Yeah.
Put them all together first. I'll show you.
Anyhow. Alright, guys, we finally finished her up. We got everything buttoned back together. Remember to dry fit your Warrior risers before you go to putting some PVC glue on it, or you'll be really upset with yourself if you do something wrong. But anyways, we got a couple little details to clean up. We'll do that later. But it's done got late on us, very late, and we're trying to do a big ride tomorrow. But we finally got her done. Just remember, don't get in a hurry doing this kit. It does take a long time, a lot involved in it. Read the instructions all the way through, and don't skip around on steps. But the end product is very nice looking, very clean looking. And we're going to put her to the test tomorrow. And because it's been raining non-stop all day. We've even had a couple of tornadoes in our area. But anyhow, we're going to end this video. Maybe throw some video clips tomorrow of it. We'll see. But Warrior Riser Snorkel Kit from SnorkelYourATV.com. This is for the Outlanders. And hopefully you learned something. Hopefully we were of some help to help you get this installed. But anyways, look guys, we'd love for you to subscribe. We'd love for you to click that bell to make sure that you're getting notified when we upload videos, and so you don't miss a thing. But anyways, we're going to go get some sleep now. Peace out. Brandon's snorkel kit, Snorkel Your ATV snorkel kit. Check out his paint job. We ain't got no good light right now, but that is sweet. So he's about to try it out, make sure he don't drown out.